Hey everyone! Ever noticed how some people command attention without a word? They don't shout, they simply withdraw. And suddenly, the energy shifts. People lean in. Imagine if you did that, chose silence over an automatic reaction. What would happen? That's what we're exploring today. When you stop being constantly available, emotionally, physically, those used to your accessibility might feel a jolt. Why? Because predictability can be a form of control. The day you choose to consciously withdraw, the game changes. Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When you become less accessible, notice who gets agitated. Their reaction often reveals more about their reliance on your old patterns than about you." Many of us give away pieces of ourselves to please, to keep peace, or to hold on to people. Each forced yes, each instant reply drains your energy, leaving you tired and frustrated. Often, it's because you're too available to those who don't value your presence. This isn't about shutting out the world, it's about choosing yourself. It's about what Jung called individuation, becoming authentic. This journey often starts by realizing that strategic silence can be more powerful than 1,000 arguments. So, how long will you let others' emotions dictate yours? Maybe it's time to cut those strings and embrace a little mystery. When you stop being constantly available, everything can change. We've been taught that our worth is tied to our availability. But this excessive availability isn't a virtue. It's often a self-imposed prison. It makes you predictable, and thus, sometimes, a tool for others' emotional needs, pressed when they need validation, then shelved. You might be caught in the illusion that being there for everyone means someone will be there for you, but it rarely works that way. Jung's concept of the persona, the mask we wear for acceptance, keeps us overly available, saying "I'm fine" when we're not, replying instantly even when exhausted. The more you feature on others' stages, the more you fade from your own. It's a subtle self-abandonment, seeking approval at the cost of your peace. The people who demand your constant presence often want what you provide: comfort, validation, not necessarily you. When you set boundaries or refuse to react, they might get irritated, not because you're wrong, but because you're no longer playing their expected role. And often, the more available you are, the less you might feel valued. What's always there can be taken for granted. So, who truly deserves your time, your energy, and perhaps more importantly, who deserves your strategic absence? Understanding why we react so readily is key. Carl Jung spoke of psychic energy. Every thought, emotion, and action consumes this energy. Are you choosing where it goes, or letting the world decide? Impulsive reactions, defending against needless criticism, engaging in pointless arguments, these all deplete your inner strength. Jung noted, "That which you resist persists. The more you react, the more you bind yourself." Emotionally drained people aren't weak, just often misdirected. Constant exhaustion leads to vulnerability. Manipulative or needy individuals can sense this lack of energetic boundaries and may take advantage. A healthy psyche, Jung suggested, knows how to conserve energy. This means saying no without guilt, staying silent without feeling cowardly, and observing before acting. True power is in choosing when and how to act, which requires self-awareness. Lost sleep over unresolved issues or replaying past conversations is your energy draining away. Guard it. Your psychic energy, when well managed, creates presence. When mismanaged, you become reactive and fragile. Start observing your triggers. What makes you react automatically? These are your energy leaks. Work on them not to become cold, but selective and sovereign over yourself. Jung also revealed that conserving your energy helps break the projections others place on you, which can be unsettling for them. You might think your reactions are conscious, but many are programmed, making you susceptible to subtle manipulation. Opportunists don't need to be forceful, they just push your exposed buttons. Jung's projection is when people attribute their own unseen traits to others. The more available you are, the easier you become a canvas for these projections. The friend who only calls in crisis, the partner needing constant rescue. They relate not to you, but to the role you play, often due to your fear of disappointment or abandonment. The most effective manipulation isn't loud, it's in the silence of guilt, making you feel obligated to be available, even at your own expense. But when you stop reacting predictably, when you say no, respond with silence or withdraw instead of over-explaining, the game breaks, the masks fall. This unsettles people because they no longer know who you are and are forced to look at themselves, which many are unprepared for. Your unavailability threatens them by exposing their own emptiness. Attacks or criticism may follow, not because you're wrong, but because you've stopped being their convenient mirror. As Jung said, enlightenment comes by making the darkness conscious. Your withdrawal can bring others' shadows to light. Are you ready for the discomfort that might come with protecting yourself? In that discomfort, a new power is born. The modern world is noisy, everyone clamoring to be heard. But there's immense power in conscious, strategic silence, not passivity, but amplified presence. Jung saw silence as fertile ground for inner transformation. When you stop reacting, you start observing patterns, emotional traps, manipulation. Silence brings lucidity, which is a threat to those who rely on your reactivity. Notice how some panic when you don't respond immediately. Your silence disrupts their control. True silence is mastery over your energy, a refusal to be dragged into others' emotional chaos. It's essential for individuation, for hearing your own voice. This silence has a price. It may distance you from those who only valued your utility. You might seem cold or arrogant, but this is often the reaction of those who couldn't handle your depth. Maturing means becoming selective with your words, realizing each is an energetic investment. Sometimes, silence is sovereignty. It makes others confront their own internal noise. The most powerful silence isn't about disturbing others, but about reconstructing yourself from within, connecting you to something beyond external approval. Understanding this intellectually isn't enough. True transformation is in action, becoming selectively unavailable. This isn't about being cold, but about controlling your energy, time, and peace. Start small. Don't respond instantly. Breathe before reacting. Leave draining discussions. Say no or I'm not interested. Crucially, you don't need to justify your absence or silence. You owe that explanation to no one but yourself. Refusing to explain takes away others' power to keep you in their narrative. Jung knew individuation often involves a sacred isolation, a retreat to hear your own voice. Observe who distances themselves when you become reserved, who tries to provoke you, who accuses you of changing. These are signs you're freeing yourself. It will be uncomfortable initially. Guilt and accusations of selfishness are part of deconstructing old conditioning. When you say no to the world's demands, you say yes to yourself. Your peace is worth more than false connections. This conscious unavailability is self-determination. When you stop being available to everyone, a profound shift occurs. First, an uncomfortable silence, filled with self-doubt. But gradually, it transforms, cleanses, and heals. Then comes solitude, not of absence, but of your own total presence. Clarity replaces confusion, peace replaces anxiety, and a new strength of self-wholeness emerges. Jung said, individuation requires distancing from the collective noise. You're not fleeing the world, you're returning to yourself. You stop being a reactor and become a creator, shaping your reality from within. Those unsettled by your absence reveal they wanted the role you played, not the true you. This is liberating. You will lose some people, but you will find yourself. You'll be misunderstood by some, but ultimately respected, starting with self-respect. When you're no longer available for just anything, you become valuable. This is a rebirth into a life where you only accept what aligns with your peace and wholeness. If you've listened this far, a part of you is ready. You understand that seeking love or approval at the cost of self-abandonment is too high a price. True self-love begins when you choose yourself. So tell me in the comments, are you ready to be misunderstood or even disliked for your inner freedom? Are you willing to pay the price of being truly you? If this resonated, write, "I choose my peace" in the comments. Let's see how many are ready for this. And if you found value here, please like this video, subscribe for more on growth and authenticity, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Keep choosing you. I'll see you next time.